Ustaz Jubril, I'll come to you now. The debate has been about playing the religious card, so to speak. We have protests and counter-protests on having same religion as the president and the vice president, presidential candidate of the party. Now, how do you see this card play out? Is this going to fly if we have one emerge?
Oh, thank you so much. I will take it from where Adebeshi stopped. So many weeks ago and recent times too, there have been a lot of issues regarding who could be the president of Nigeria and who the VP or the vice president should be, the running mate. People have decided to go down into memory lane to look back into the history of Nigeria, starting from the period of Shakari. Let's take it from there. And now it has been like that until we had 1993, Chivenko Abela late and King's Debate, Muslim ticket and like that. And people have equally gone into states. What happened in Lagos and some other states of Nigeria to talk about just balancing. That is what the word they have been using. And inclusivity. Those are the words that are being used to describe it. But generally speaking, people have said, we don't know how we got to this level. So a number of us, competence to be the underlying.
All right. I don't know. Ustaz Jubril, we seem to have lost him there, but we'll connect to him as soon as possible. Let me come back to. Okay, he's back. All right.
Hello.
Okay, continue.
Okay. Using religion as a primary basis to choose a running mate, as in one thing that quite a number of Nigerians have really challenged. We want competence to be primary, a factor that will be used to determine the running mate, and not the kind of God he's calling on to. Because when he gets there, he's not coming there to be an imam. Rather, is he coming there to be a pastor of a church? He's coming there to govern Nigeria, to rule over Nigeria, to talk about economy, to talk about, security, to talk about developing infrastructure, to talk about human capital development. These are issues that we want a president in office for, and is running mate too. So coming to now use the criteria of religion as a factor primarily to choose a running mate, it stands on logic at the end of a number of us. And when you look at it, we've seen, in a lot of other scenarios where we have brilliant people coming up, and when you talk of competence like Adebeshi has put it, is a function of time and environment. It does not mean that somebody is not competent, but in certain environments, the person might not be the required individual that we need. It doesn't take away the competence from that person, but given other factors, like he has rightly observed too. So politician, the primary duty, the primary goal on his mind is how to win election. So when you want him to choose a running mate, he thinks of how he's going to win that election. Vis-a-vis the competence of the person. What is the person bringing to the table? For God's sake, the first thing he wants to consider is not his religion. The first thing I just want to ask for, okay, Buhari is the president now. All the troubles that is facing Nigeria, he does not discriminate whether you're a Muslim or a Christian. In his hometown in Katsina, for God's sake, his people have been victims of insecurity, of banditry. So I don't know why we want to make religion a primary factor for choosing who becomes a running mate. Rather, I want us to bring about competence as a primary factor. And competence, like I said, will be subjective to the environment, what we have on ground that will determine how we want to choose that person that is most suitable to do it. To me, that is the way forward.
All right, Mohammed Adebeshi, let me come to you. To what extent, or what kind of influence, or do they normally have influence when picking running mates? I'm talking about the presidents, the governors, the chairman of the local government. How much of influence does a candidate have in choosing his running mate or her running mate? That is the question.
Yeah, there's always the circle of influence, irrespective of whether the candidate is. Politics is about power play. A lot of interest groups are involved, a lot of pressure groups are involved, a lot of power brokers are involved. But be that as it is, the candidate has the choice of also presenting his or her own choice. It now depends on the strength of the candidate. For instance, the local government chairman may hardly have the choice of picking his deputy. That would be a local government chairman will hardly have his or her deputy. But on the contrary, a presidential candidate may have amassed so much popularity, so much strength, so much will we have to insist that this is who I want as my deputy, and the party may have to accept that with him. But where that does not happen, it did not emerge the presidential candidate on his own whims alone. A lot of people that work with him to become the presidential candidate can also wield some influence, because even before you emerge the presidential candidate, there's a lot of horse trading that goes on to it, and there are a lot of interest, those who are interested parties in the whole game. So it's just a function of, summary is just a function of the strength and the personality of the candidate. If the candidate is a rooted politician who has the popularity and the followers, is running mate himself, and the party, after a lot of jojo and war, they will come to an agreement that okay, you can have your candidate. But it's not that it's just a straight jacket thing that no matter how powerful you are, you just determine your candidate. No, it has to be an issue. It has to be an issue of a sort that a lot of us traders have to go into it. So it is not there's no clear-cut rule that says anybody can have his or her candidate. The function of your personality, who are those involved in the negotiation table, how powerful they are, how powerful the candidates are, and what is the political party stand in itself. Because don't forget, even the sitting president, who is a member of the party, has a lot of influence as well. He is not a contestant, but he can have his way on insisting on pushing for a particular candidate, and it sails through. Because he has an executive power that transcends beyond just his office, even to the political party. I think that summarizes.
Okay, Ustaz Jubril Lawal, you actually talked about religion, and my question is, how much of politics have crept into our religion? And of course, why should it be so? Because I remember that in the past, we didn't even remember which faith you belong to. We've had Jakonde and Jafojo in Lagos State. We had Olabisi Onabanjo and Sholo Ade in Ogun State. We've had Ige and Afolabi in Oyo State. So how did we get here? And how much of politics religious leaders allowed to creep into religion?
No, thank you. It is the trust that grew up in the past, and most often, unfortunately, is being propelled by religious leaders themselves. It's being driven by religious leaders who wants to occupy the political space, who have eventually become beneficiaries, one way or the other, of government in power. So wanting to secure space for themselves is what really made it be like that. And it's so unfortunate, the kind of problem we are going to have on our hands. Like you rightly counted, in quite a number of states in the past, the issue of who comes in as president or governor and running mate really doesn't count. But religious leaders started fanning the ember of these divisive tendencies of religion, playing the religious card because they want to occupy space within the political spectrum. And that's what really led us to the level we find ourselves. The ember of this problem is being fanned by them. It's unfortunate how quite a number of religious bodies and leaders have been speaking, in very hard tones, very harsh tones. Like, if you don't choose from a particular religion, you will have problems. I don't know. We should leave politicking for politicians to do. Let religious leaders, remain to be the check that they need to be on politicians. When we have a check, when we maintain our balance, our neutrality, as religious leaders, we'll be able to, guide them and checkmate them when they want to go wrong. But when we bring in sentiment of religion in everything that we are doing, it's unfortunate. And it portends, a bad sign for Nigeria. I will explain. When you look at Ekiti, Ondo, and Edo, these are states where there are Muslims there, called the minority, but there are Muslims there. But then we have not seen where people in those states, Muslims in those states, comes up to say, you must give us the ticket of a running mate. Go and look at the history of Ekiti, Ondo, and Edo. Quite a number of their governors, since this transition of politics started, have been Christian. And you have not had one day that the Muslim of such states are questioning. Now, if it is pushed to a level where the noise is, if it's a Muslim, choose a Christian running mate, then you are going to reawaken the consciousness of the Muslim group. And they too will start making the demand. And we cannot have a peaceful country like that. That's why I want to call on religious leaders, to maintain their position as religious leaders, to be unbiased, to manage their pulpit, in their various places of worship. Because when they come into such foray and they start asking such questions, they start fanning the ember of such, it's going to take us to a level of dividing Nigeria, and that is not the way forward. So your question, the religious leaders started fanning the ember because they want to participate in politics. They want to occupy political space. They want to be there. They want to be seen. They want to be heard. And they are no longer neutral people, critics that are, talking to government what they need to do. And this is a role I think society needs them to play. A role of, checkmating. A role of telling government this is how to go about it. Making them to turn off policies and actions that will benefit the generality of Nigerians, irrespective of the religious space that you belong to. This, I think, is what Nigerians want from them. So religious leaders should, for God's sake, stop fanning that ember and saying words that tend to, foment trouble. If they are waking, listen, Muslim and Christian, don't we have the traditional worshippers in Nigeria? When they come and say, okay, you are saying Muslims and Christians, what about traditional worshippers too? Are we not supposed to have a space in the political space? How are we going to, handle such? So I think it's one thing that we cannot find a boomerang on our hand.
All right, Mohammed Adebeshi, I would like to come to you. The another card that is being played in this vice presidential choice is the card of ethnic. Where does it come from? Is it from the south-south? Is it from the southeast? For example, the PDP are being criticized for not choosing their VP from the southeastern part of the country, whereas the APC is expected that the vice president should come from the north. Should this matter in a country like Nigeria in the choice of the vice president?
Adebeshi, before you answer that question, let's just take this break and get involved, and let's see the announcement, just as you said, of Governor Okowa of Delta State as the running mate of the PDP candidate, Atiku Abubakar. That is, we'll now join you to answer the question that Tunde asked. Let's quickly see it.
I am pleased therefore to announce here my choice of running mate who will help to lead us to victory next year, not only in the presidential election, but also in the governorship and legislative elections. And he will be by my side as I work hard every day to provide our people with security, revive our economy, improve education, and unite our country. Please join me in welcoming to the ticket the next Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Governor Ifeanyi Arthur Okowa.
Mr. President, sir, in waiting, I must truly thank you for finding me worthy to be on this ticket. I do know that it was a very tough decision, even as you have spoken this afternoon. But I thank God that amongst my very qualified colleagues, even those more qualified than myself, that I found favor, and I'm here today as the vice presidential candidate of the party.
Okay, Adebeshi, now to this question, especially, what is the implication of this to the Southeast? The choice of Okowa.
I get you. You see, just like I considered earlier, you see, a lot of interest groups are involved in the whole political engineering. And you have different interest groups trying to pull the string of their importance or trying to show that they are a factor to contend with. But for the contestant who an election, is the one that can win, or the one that is the one that will enjoy the joy of winning or the pains of losing. So you don't have to have every pressure group that pulls you that you should do this or you should do that. There will be calls across for interest groups, for people's interest to be put into consideration. But the bottom line is, in the case of Atiku choosing Okowa, I'm of the opinion that he must have weighed in a lot of factors. And one of those factors is the fact that what numbers is the Southeast bringing to the table? What political numbers to the table? This is the Southeast that the 5 states that make up Southeast, their population to the table is not as much as that of South-South. And they are trying to balance it because Okowa that I picked does not come from the Southeast, but tribally is an Igbo because it belongs to the Delta Igbo. It's just like the case of Saraki. When Saraki became senior president, he still fulfills the yearnings of the Yoruba people. Because Saraki, you may say it comes from Kwara, but the tribe is Yoruba. So I hope the Southeast will just be magnanimous enough to see Okowa as a win-win situation. Although that's a PDP affair, Atiku has chosen Okowa for reasons best known to him. But in my own permutation, I felt he has considered the population, the votes that are coming from the South-South. Because whether we like it or not, you can always eat your cake and have it. The unrest in the Southeast, the IPOB activities, and the ordering of sit-at-homes and the voter party would force any politician to think twice before picking a candidate from there. And don't forget, Peter Obi is from Southeast and is running on the platform of the Labour Party. He will also garner a lot of votes from the Southeast. So it is only sensible for someone like Atiku to pick his candidate, a Northerner, to pick his candidate from the South-South. Considering the fact that he doesn't want to pick from the Southwest because he knows that Southwest is also presenting a candidate for the presidency. So that's how I see it.
that the Southeast, Ohanes is saying that he did not pick from Southeast. Power is not served like meals at party. You have to show the strength to be able to corner people to your side. And the same thing will happen in the case of APC. Ashwaju Tinubu will have to pick a candidate from the north. And when you want to pick a candidate from the north, let's not forget this fact that when we talk about the north are the population of the north exists in Kano, Borno, Katsina, Nasarawa, and some northern states.
Adebeshi, let me just stop you there. Ustaz, we are running off on this. In 1 minute, what do you make of this? You had Adebeshi. In 1 minute, before we go, Ustaz Jubril.
There is no way to separate Nigerian politics from tribalism. We can't. Don't forget that the issue of everybody wanting to defend what belongs to him or her, I mean, within the context of a Nigerian federation, is still high there. So we can't separate that. But like he has said, our brothers from the East need to, up their game and, reorganize themselves politically. They should not expect that things come their way easily. And with Atiku's choice anyway, there will be a battle for the South-South vote, with the Wike that's feeling aggrieved already. There will be a fight for that vote in the South-South. So it's not really a yet uhuru for Atiku. He needs to find a way to placate Wike. That's my take on that.
Okay, thank you very much. I want to thank you so much for having time to join us on this topic, choosing a running mate, the politics involved. We had Ustaz Jubril Awal, who is a public commentator, and of course, likewise, Mohammed Adebeshi. I want to thank both of you for joining us on the issue this morning. Anyway, still the Friday edition of the program New Dawn on Ogtv with Tunde Olaniran and Akim Akitunde. When we come back, we shall be talking sports. Generally, let me say specifically, football. And we'll have a guru that's also preparing to join us from Lagos.